Right.
Cool,
Good
man.
morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Health, wealth, and holiness, understanding how to live this life. My name is DeLon Thomas. I am here in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Eric Crawford out here in Lafayette, Louisiana.
I see you put some twang on it,
A little twang, a little
little
twang.
twang on it. Yeah, I'm from Louisiana, so I understand. It's more French than twang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this morning we're going to be talking about resolutions going into this new year. We all start with a vision, we all start with goals, and we want to talk about biblically what does this look like. We want to talk about how is this actually accomplished, um, and not to vilify individuals for making goals and making attempts and the past failures. Just talking about refreshing, that new refreshing that feels should be started at the beginning of the year, and how that is, how do we make that happen? Just getting right into it. So, Eric, we were beginning the conversation, just to say before recording,
Yeah.
about just the health.
Right.
Um, Talking about, one thing that I know a lot of people want to talk about or have plans, especially around this time of year, is weight loss,
Right.
is
Right.
getting healthier.
Mm-hmm.
And you were sharing with me some of the things that you're going through at this time. Would
Right.
you like to
Right.
expound on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. So, I've been on a weight loss journey, if you will, and trying to, lose weight for my for my health purposes, and it hasn't gone the way I want it to go. Right, I
Hmm.
haven't seen the results that I want to see. I haven't, at one point it was coming down, then it went back up. It was kind of up and down a little bit, and now it's just up, and I don't feel well. I don't feel good. I don't have the energy that I need, um, or that I want, I should say. I can't go, you know, um, like if I go from my car, walk into the building, into my office, I'm out of breath. You
Mm.
know,
Hmm.
and it makes it almost makes me feel like it's like something else is going on. Like maybe something's wrong with my lungs, or
Right.
something's wrong with my respiratory system in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But at the end of the day, it's just that I'm just too big. I'm just too big.
Right.
And so, like I was talking to you before, it's like I know what, or at least I think I know what I need to do in order to lose this weight, as far as dietary is concerned, as far as exercise is concerned, um, and things of those nature. And I've done that, right?
Hmm.
I go to the gym, uh, but like I was telling you, I don't really put out as much at the gym because after a certain period of time, my back starts hurting.
Right.
I really can't really work out that much anymore. So I stopped, I quit the routine. And some might say, "Oh shoot, man, you gotta push forward, you gotta push harder," and I get that, I get that, but how long and how much do I need to push in order for this stuff to start coming off and it get easier, right? Because
Right.
it's not supposed to be hard forever,
Right.
and at some point in time I should start seeing results, and I'm not, right? So like I was telling you, you know, I just need to stop eating so much, right? Now I've changed like the type of food I eat and some of the things that I eat. and I've even changed the amount of food that I eat. You know,
Hmm.
I don't eat as much that I used to eat in the past. But I think even at that point, or I'm at a point now where you know none of that really matters like
Yeah.
anymore, right?
Yeah.
I have to do something a little more drastic in order to get a more drastic result, right? And it's like I think in my mind, anyways, or where I feel right now is that I just need to stop eating so much. I just really need to stop eating so much, and so I need to get to a discipline, which is where I feel my weakness is in the discipline
Hmm.
that I currently have. You know, growing up and playing sports and everything, I had a discipline in that, and it was flawless, man. You know, I get up, you know, do what I had to do to keep my body in shape, keep my body in tip top condition in order to perform on the football field. And I did that, and my discipline was sound.
Can we can we
Sure.
can we pause for a second, because I
Uh-huh.
don't think I want to make sure that people understand what type of athlete you were, and I think, for those that don't know you, would you go and give us just a bit of a history of, where you started at, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
as far as even positions and
Right.
weights and things like that.
Right. Well, I started playing football when I was like 5 years old. Continued on through high school, got a scholarship, full athletic scholarship to Nicholls State University. I played free safety at in high school. Um, you know, I never got like all district or all state or any of that kind of stuff, but I was well known, you know, in my district as far as
Hmm.
my abilities and what I was able to do. There wasn't any receiver that wanted to come across the middle of the field if I was out there ever,
Yeah,
ever. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like I said, I didn't get the all district and all that because I didn't get interceptions. I would not get an interception. My thing was to knock the snot out of you. And
Right,
that's what I was
right,
trying to do.
right.
Literally, literally, I was trying to, make sure that when I looked down, you had a snot bubble in your nose
Come
after
on.
I got finished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it, man. It was my thing, bro. It was my thing, man. You know, I
Well,
love
so
the
so
physicality of the game.
right,
Yeah,
right. And so you played at regardless of the accolades of
right.
the all district. I
Mm-hmm.
know you to have played at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you were well known, like you said, not
Right,
only in the district, but people knew you and your position very well.
right, right.
Um, and anyone that is familiar with high school football, it's the lights. It's the
Yeah,
lights, man.
yeah.
It's the start of that trajectory to NFL, to all of these other
Right,
things.
right.
Um,
Especially
Nonetheless,
in the South. Especially in
especially
the
in the
South.
South, it's Friday
Yeah.
Night Lights. It's
Right,
it's it's a
right.
big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And you played at that, and even going into Nicholls State, getting that scholarship, you
Mm-hmm.
played at a very high level, as
Right.
far as the intensity, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, as far as the disciplining. You are an athlete of athletes. I know that.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
and so, how do we transition from that individual to the place where you've gotten now?
Well, as with anything, things come to an end, right? And so as hard as I played in the sport, uh I played so hard at times I would hurt myself. Like I would hit so hard that I would get concussions or I would black out. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I didn't pursue a career in the NFL. So after my college career was over with, that was it. That was it
Hmm.
for me as far as football was concerned. Um, and I guess that's where it kind of started, right? Because now I didn't really have anything to motivate me or to drive me although I could have, but I didn't, to continue working out in the gym, continue with my eating habits, good eating habits, and different things like that. My football career was over with. Out of college once college was over with. So I just stopped. I stopped.
Is this because I have other college friends that were athletes.
Hmm.
Is this a common phenomena with college athletes that after they have uh,
It
quit playing?
depends, right? It
Hmm.
depends. Some athletes continue on. Um, their focus shifts, right? They start focusing on other things, but they continue the workout, right? They continue to work out. They continue, to keep their body in tip top condition and everything like that. Some athletes do that, and some athletes don't. Some athletes do just the opposite, and I did just the opposite.
Hmm.
You know, I didn't stay with the same eating regimen. I didn't stay out with the same physical workout regimen. I just didn't do any of that kind of thing. I started concentrating on other things, school, relationships, and different things of that nature. So I didn't. It just wasn't a focus of mine.
Okay.
Uh, but it's not always like that, male or female. Some athletes continue in the gym, and some athletes don't. And I was one of those athletes who didn't. You know.
Okay. So getting to where we are now, and you've put on the weight. We've you've gotten to this place. What is it that gives you the sense of urgency, or what is the concern as of right now? Why is this something that in the new year, talking about resolutions
Hmm.
in the new year, you this is one of the top three things that you have on your list?
Oh yeah. So like for me, it's really number one for me. As far as top three, it's like number one for me.
Hmm.
And like I told you before, before we started on the broadcast, and we were just talking about different things. I said, either I do this or I die.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and that's just the reality of the matter. Either I lose this weight or it's gonna kill me. One or the other.
Right.
And I don't want the latter. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So I have to get it off. And it's like some might be listening to me say that, and it's like, well, he's just saying it like, it's a serious thing, right?
Nonchalantly, you think
Yeah,
like you're saying it nonchalantly.
real nonchalant, but I'm not. It's not something that's nonchalant for me. It's just I've come to that realization of what it actually is,
Right.
and when I talk about it or I articulate it, that that's just how it is for me. The the I guess the urgency or the shock of that statement is gone for me. It's not like that for me anymore because
Hmm.
I've come to the realization of what it is. Eric, if you don't lose this weight, you you you're gonna die, bro.
Right.
It's
Right.
gonna put you under, bro.
Right.
So that shock is not really there for me anymore because now I'm in a mode where I'm like, okay, well, how do I get this done? You know,
Right.
I'm not in that shock mode anymore to be like, oh my god, I'm a die,
The
I'm a
panic.
die.
I'm not in the
Yeah, the
panic.
panic.
I'm not in the panic. That it's
It's not
execute.
panic mode.
How do I execute?
It's strategic mode, man.
Right.
It's
Right.
planning mode.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, if that's the problem, now I got to find a solution. I'm in a solution finding mode right
Right.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that shock is no longer there for me. Um, when you talk about New Year's resolutions, and that is one that a lot of people choose to have is to lose weight, right? For various different reasons,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
People want to do that for various different reasons, but you know, but the thing is, it's like how do you accomplish it? Everybody is different. There is a basic human formula for losing weight. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
As far as calories are concerned and everything, and it's just caloric deficit.
Right.
Get get in a caloric deficit
You gotta. It's simple
and
math there.
simple math and the way to start coming off, right? And it seems simple. It seems very simple. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, I don't. To jump in right here, I think
yeah,
that first of all, like you said, motivating factors, the shock being gone, the shock value of the statement being gone.
hmm,
In going into a new year, it's usually reflective of our past, whether the past year or the past 10 years.
hmm,
And we take that snapshot and say, these things have put me at this point to where the trajectory is going in the and not in the negative direction. It's not in the
right,
direction I want to go.
right,
Um, but to get beyond the hype of it, like you're saying, this is not just a hyped statement. This isn't just that,
right,
or you're going to die. This isn't a hyperbole. This isn't something that's just, oh well, it's effective, but this is
right,
this is reality that you have accepted.
right,
It's a
right.
reality, and I think that with all of the objectives that people have, whether it be going back to school, whether it be getting back into the workforce. I know that some people, my wife is, we just had a child, and so one of her objectives is to figure out how to get back into creating income for herself.
Right.
And so, with all of these things, the resolutions, even spiritual, especially spiritual,
Hmm.
I think I don't know if you said it while we were recording or not, but one of the key things here is discipline.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
You know that
absolutely.
that I think that's the cornerstone of the decision of the maybe not motivation, but it is the driving force.
Right,
Discipline is the driving force behind it, the change. That's what I want to say.
right,
Discipline
right.
is the driving force behind the change. The change doesn't happen if you are not uh, decidedly, uh, actively engaged in
Hmm.
doing the things. And in your situation, it's a matter of now I need to find out. Like you said, I've assessed it, and this is what ultimately this is the thing that's going to have to change,
Right.
because all of the smaller factors,
Hmm.
all of those other factors, they're doing something, but they're not pushing the needle to where I want it to go.
Correct. Correct. And like, and just thinking about that and listening to you say that, it's like, discipline is the key. And
Hmm.
like I was telling you before, it's like there are times where, you know, I I I just don't want to. We have a statement in the house, the don't wants.
Right,
You just got the don't wants.
right.
And it's like for me, I've come to the conclusion that I just have to stop eating so much food or eating as much as I do. Intermittent fasting potentially,
Hmm.
or just fasting outright,
Right.
for a few days out of a week
Hmm.
is something that I just have to start doing, right?
Right. Right.
Because I've developed a craving and a love for food, right?
Hmm.
And, you know, like I said, I eat smaller portions. I eat proper, like, food, like, health food, the spinach and the fish and the different things that I
Hmm.
that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you're consistently eating,
Right.
regardless of what it is, some people tell you, "Oh yeah, you just if you're eating salads and stuff, you can eat as much as you want." Bruh, don't
No.
tell somebody that's trying to lose
No.
weight
No.
that you can eat as much as you want,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like for me, I hear that statement now I hear that statement and I laugh.
Yeah.
But then I heard that statement and I was relieved. And I was like, oh, that's my out, man.
That's
That's
my
my
out.
out. You
That's a
know what I'm
good that's a
saying?
good way to put it.
That's my
That's a good
out,
way to
man.
put it.
Okay, I'm a just eat salad all day long today. Now, granted, what kind of salad did you have? Okay, well, it's lettuce and spinach and carrots and boiled eggs and fried chicken pieces and
Dressing all
ham
kind
and
of dressing with it.
ranch dressing
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
if you eat that all day, you're not gonna lose weight, bro.
yeah,
It's just not gonna happen,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then someone might say, "Well, you got the wrong kind of salad," but that's not what they told me.
yeah.
That's not what they told me. That if you eat the wrong kind of salad, you can eat as much as you, or if you eat the right kind of salad, you can eat as much as you want. They just said if you eat salad, oh, if
Yeah.
you're eating salad, well, that's a salad.
It's
That's my
good. You
salad.
good.
I'm good.
You good.
All these greens and all these vegetables and all this stuff that's in it, man, I'm good, man. No, you're not.
Yeah,
You're not. You're not
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So um,
I
but
think
yeah, I got that, and it was like you can't tell, you shouldn't tell people or make statements like that. Oh, you can eat, oh, watermelon, fruits. You can eat as much fruit as you want. You know,
right,
you're good. You're gonna lose weight. No, that's
right,
that's
right.
not the
I think like you're saying too. What is it when you looking for an out? And
hmm
so with all endeavors that you go into that you want to make a change, when you have in your mind, you have in the back of your mind, okay, this is my out.
Right,
Like I can
right,
exercise, and this is
hmm
not speaking to your case,
right,
but because I am winded coming up 3 flights of stairs, and so
hmm
it's like, okay, I used to be a lot more active in the job that I did,
hmm
and so now it's like, oh, I can exercise, but because I don't have the weight, or I have the baby, or I have the, it's like, yeah, but what I don't really have the time, or what I'm saying,
right,
well,
right.
if I just do, I saw something that said, if you do 10 minutes of squats every hour, it's like walking. It's like, is that real? you know,
Yeah,
are you really accomplishing a goal? And
right.
if you are looking for an out before you ever start,
You've already lost.
you've already lost. You've already
You've
given
already
up.
lost. You've already given up.
You've already given up.
Because even though you may be doing what you're supposed to be doing, in the
Right.
back of your mind, you're thinking, okay, when can I stop
When can I
this?
get out of this?
When can I get out of this
Right.
thing?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that is ultimately, as far as spiritual and natural goes, that is the sacrifice, right?
Yes.
That is the killing of the flesh,
Right.
man. And the flesh does not want
Doesn't
to
want to die.
die
Doesn't want to die in anything.
in
In anything.
anything,
In
man.
anything.
In anything,
In
man.
anything.
It
Uh.
doesn't it doesn't want to die. So we have to put it under subjection and do what we know is right to do, whether it be with this walk in Christ, as far as praying and fasting and studying our word to understand the will and the mind of God and
Right.
the things of Christ, or naturally to get our body under subjection, or to learn a new craft,
Right.
or whatever the case may be. Like you said, you put it very well. If you start something thinking about an out,
How I can escape it.
how can I escape it? Then you've already lost. You might as
Right.
well just start something different, because in your mind you're going to be thinking about that out some kind of way, and it's going to come.
It's going. Yeah.
It's
It's
going
going
to
to.
come.
I think that, and I say I think, when you have decided to not have an out, one of the individuals I think about is David Goggins and his extremism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that it's necessary for us to have that mindset spiritually. It has to be, do we really get to the point where, okay, if I don't change this habit, if I don't change the watching pornography, if I don't change the backbiting, if I don't
Mm-hmm.
change the lustful thoughts, if I don't change this malicious intent, if I don't change this anger, if I don't aggressively attack it, then I am going to die in my sin.
Mm-hmm.
And that realization, that should start. If that doesn't motivate you, that should
Mm-hmm.
start it. I know on the other side of things, sometimes people are motivated. You have 4 or 5 beautiful children,
Mm-hmm.
and you have grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
and and a wife, and so whatever someone's motivation is. I've always been, I come from the camp of hellfire and brimstone. That was my motivation for deciding to live right.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was blessed to come from a camp of love and of God's grace and redemption, and that motivates her to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've always been someone that says, whatever your motivation is to do the right thing, whether it's fear or whether it's love, let the motivation continue to move you. But there's
Right.
a point when it doesn't motivation isn't it anymore, and
Right.
discipline has to be the thing.
Because the thing is, it comes to a point where whether you say it or not, you don't believe those things.
Hmm.
You don't believe it anymore. It's not it's you don't believe it. Um, for myself, I could have told myself a long time ago, Eric, if you don't stop eating like this, you're gonna die. Oh man, why you say that? Well, it's true, you know.
Hmm.
But at a certain period of time, it's like, do I really believe that? You know,
Right.
do I really believe that in my heart that if this piece of cheesecake that I have in front of me, if I eat this piece of cheesecake, that eventually it's gonna kill me. If I believe that, then I'm not gonna eat that piece of cheesecake. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna push it away. But in my mind, it's like I don't really. It's good. I like it. It tastes good. I'm gonna eat that thing. You
And
know.
you know what? I'm gonna jump in, because the first thing the Spirit brought to me was, this is exactly what happened with Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you're gonna die?
Thank
I,
you.
I,
Thank you.
you're not. You surely you're not. You're not gonna
Surely
die.
you guys are gonna die.
You're not gonna
Come on.
die. That's
Come on,
extreme.
man.
That's
Come
extreme.
on. Come on.
And I think that
And
we
that doubt is cast in there,
right,
and it causes you to do contrary to what
right,
you should be doing.
right,
That's exactly what happens.
right,
That's the strategy of the enemy, right?
right, right.
To cast that doubt in there because it wipes away the truth. Period.
It wipes away fear.
And fear. It
It wipes
does.
away the fear.
It
You
wipes away the
don't
fear.
feel you don't feel the impending of, the Bible says, um because it's not executed judgment is not executed swiftly. It is fully committed. The sinners in their heart is fully committed to committing sin.
Mm-hmm.
They're fully
Mm-hmm.
committed to doing so. Because judgment does not happen instantaneously, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I can continue on in this
Like I
manner.
said, that doubt wipes away the truth.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily the fear, because,
Uh-huh.
like you said, your wife come from a background of love and mercy
Right.
and
Right.
that's the truth. God is love. God is
Right.
mercy, and because of that, she is who she is. Right.
Right.
Well, she doesn't doubt that. She doesn't doubt that. And
Right.
it causes her to be who she is. But if she starts to doubt that, oh man, God don't really love me, you know,
Right.
that will change who she is and what she does.
Right.
Because now she doesn't believe in the truth of the matter
Hmm.
of who God is to
Hmm.
her.
Hmm.
Now, true, in the situation of fire and brimstone, if doubt is cast in there, then yeah, it does take away the fear.
Mhm.
because that's the driving motivation behind that fire and brimstone is fear.
Right.
But when doubt is cast in and it erases the truth, then that fear is no longer there,
Yeah.
you
But
know.
also the thoughts of love, like you're saying.
And
It
also with the thoughts of love, you
Yeah,
know,
you don't believe that that happens, and so that's
doubt
very accurate.
takes
Yes.
away
Doubt takes
truth.
away truth. Doubt
It
takes
takes
away
away
truth.
the truth
Mhm.
because that's what happened with Adam and Eve. You know, Satan came in there and cast doubt in there, and
Mhm.
it blinded her from the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter was that God said, "You will die if you eat of this fruit."
Right.
You know, and like He said, "Will you surely die? You're not gonna really die."
Right.
But God knows that you will be as gods and know good and evil
Mhm.
as He does.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know what Eve's motivation was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she wanted to be like God. I don't know if she was just hungry. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I know one thing for sure. She didn't believe the truth anymore.
Right. Right.
She didn't believe the truth.
Mhm.
You know, the truth was there and she didn't believe it. And so she did what she did and ate of the fruit and gave to Adam. You know, and that's where I am, right?
Mhm.
It's like, do I really believe the truth in that I'm gonna I'll die if I continue in this path?
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe that truth. And so now, what I have to do is come back on top of that and add that discipline to continue to move me forward in the direction that I need to go, right?
Mhm.
Because without it, then I'll stop and I won't complete my goal without the discipline. Because discipline helps you to push through when it gets hard.
Right.
Because it's gonna get hard.
Right.
It's gonna get hard.
I think we have a one of our podcasts. We're talking about the discipline of discipleship,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
and as humans, uh, in order for you to move to a different level, a different arena, a different just a place mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you have to have a certain discipline. I know that I have been, I call it fixed income now,
Mm-hmm.
because prior to this position that I've had, position that I've gotten,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been able to go out and to make more money. I've always been able to work more hours, and I
Right.
have been blessed with the profession that I chose to work in, to where I could confidently go make six figures. And it's like, okay, I'm going to work a little harder. Getting
Right.
older, that's not realistic.
Right.
And then moving into these salary positions, I have, I am, and have to learn financial discipline. I
Mm-hmm.
have to learn that this is a fixed income, and
Right.
until you start creating other streams, which is also going to take discipline
Right.
to regulate times and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
That everything that you move into, you need that discipline. I'm going to need this discipline to manage money better,
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how to adjust things as we need, so that if we continue to grow my family, I'm going to need to, and then also preparing for the inevitable retirement that's going to
Right.
happen. Am I
Right.
positioning
Right.
myself at 50 years old to retire in 15 years, if that's the
Right.
case? And
Right.
so, how do I do that? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And that takes discipline. When we
Right.
talk about getting an education, you're talking about mental discipline. You're talking
That's
about
right.
what does it take for you to achieve degrees? What does it take for you to achieve, even like you're saying, crafts? If you're going into a craft, if you're becoming a welder, if you're becoming,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a certain discipline, even the discipline of these crafts,
Right.
learning certain disciplines of these crafts,
Right.
which is important. And with every cornerstone, mentally, emotionally, when you start to talk about emotions and having the discipline to not allow emotions to create the doubt of love,
Right.
the doubt of
Right.
of security in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
it takes. exercising a certain discipline for these things,
Mm-hmm.
and how much more spiritually, of course.
Right.
We
Right.
start talking about getting into, of course, Paul always wrote about, I count all things as dung, I count all things as a loss, to achieve these things,
Right.
and the things that I want to do, I put all things away. And the discipline that it takes to go after God, to be overtaken by Him, to
Mm-hmm.
become His child, you have to
Right.
adhere to the commandments, adhering to, and even the scripture that says, to him that know to do good and does not, it's sin to him.
That's right.
So you go beyond just the simple, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, covet. You go to the
Right.
point where, okay, I know that, saying that I'm married with 9 children, before you are, if I'm single, that's lying. You're being deceitful, and that's sinful.
Right.
You're
On your
being
taxes.
deceitful, right? You're doing so. You're cheating on your taxes,
Right.
and so discipline, discipline being the cornerstone of being resolute about a decision going
Mm-hmm.
into this new year,
Mm-hmm.
making resolutions,
Mm-hmm.
um, and finding the thing where you get, where you, it's good for the initial motivation, great, but what is going to carry you through to the goal?
Right. And that's the key, right? That's the key. You have to find what's going to carry you all the way through
Hmm.
to your final destination, to your final goal, your ultimate goal. And discipline is a key component of that, if not
Right,
the sole element of what can carry you to your final goal. Because in discipline there is no emotion. There's no
right,
emotion in discipline.
right,
There's no feelings in discipline. Discipline, you just do. Regardless of how you feel,
right,
regardless of what's going on, regardless of the situation around you, discipline pushes you to just do whatever it is you've set out to do. And because like I said, things will get difficult, things will change around you, environment, situation, circumstance, all those things will change. But in order for you to accomplish your goal, you have to have discipline in order to push through all of that.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And continue on the path that you know or you believe to accomplish the goal that you have. And the reason why I say it like that is because, the Bible talks about how they said, what man goeth to build a tower and doesn't count the cost
right.
before, he starts the work. So everybody at this time of the year starts thinking about, okay, what I want to do differently
Hmm.
in 2026, right?
Hmm.
Or next year. So they think about it and they come up with a goal, right?
Hmm.
So you have your goal. I want to lose weight, right? Um, so it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? So then you work backwards and you develop your plan.
Right,
Once you develop your plan, now you have your roadmap, of what you believe will be the proper roadmap to get you to your goal. So now it's like, okay, well, here's my roadmap, here's my plan. So now I just have to execute it. But in executing it, there's going to be times where you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be
right.
times where you don't want to stick to the plan. There's going to be times where things will come against your plan and cause you to go off of it or want to go off of it. And
Hmm.
it's going to be discipline that keeps you on track to stay on the plan, to say, okay, no, this is the plan that I put in place to reach that goal. Unless you're doing that plan, and you have to be honest with yourself, unless you are following that plan to the T and you're not seeing your milestones being accomplished to get to your
Hmm.
goal,
Hmm. Hmm.
then and only then do you change your plan and say, okay, well, I have to do something a little differently because this is not accomplishing the goal that I believe it's out to get, that I'm supposed to get in following this plan. But if you're following your plan and you're hitting your milestones and you seeing that your goal is going to be accomplished if you continue on that plan, then you have to have that discipline to stay in tune with your plan and follow it and follow it.
I think that I agree with that. I think the, the second part, what you're bringing across, is making a realistic plan.
Mm-hmm.
We have a goal, and we make a schedule, and we use weight loss because that's the most sought after thing during the first of the
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your plan for weight loss? Is it I'm going to go to the gym every day? Okay, that you're doing something, but what is the plan? In
Mm-hmm.
2 months, I need to lose a pound and a half a week. I need to,
Mm-hmm.
what is making well laid plans,
Right.
saying,
Right.
taking the time in this season and saying,
Mm-hmm.
before I get into what I want, the resolution is, I have a statement, but now I need to walk it back. Like you said, I have a goal, but how do I walk it back and say, okay, these are the steps to get to that goal? Um,
Right.
and
Right.
and taking time to make a plan that you say, okay, putting in the plan. This is the first milestone. Once I get to this part, having that 30-day, that 60-day, that
Mm-hmm.
90-day
Mm-hmm.
check in, or, if it needs to be every 2 weeks, where am I at? What am I doing? When do
Right.
I expect to see results? A
Exactly.
true expectation of results, and doing the research to do so.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to invest in yourself, if you are going to take the time to create something to better you,
Mm-hmm.
then you should take the time to do the research it takes to get the better you, to
That's
put
right.
yourself in a to say, okay, now when does keto start? When does the ketosis start? When
Right.
did when am I actually going to start burning the fat that's on me?
Right.
When do I, if in school, when am I actually starting to retain information? How do I retain information if I study at
Mm-hmm.
this time, if I'm doing these things? um, and so taking the time to make a plan, doing the prep work before you start doing the work of working the plan,
Right.
planning the work in such a way to where you make the plan realistic,
Mm-hmm.
achievable,
Mm-hmm.
creating even I used to make a schedule for day to day, just a day to day waking up, and my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to put in a plan for a nap.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because you
Put it
make
in
all these
there.
plans. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to work. I'm coming. Okay, I get off at 2 o'clock, and so okay, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm tired. Why don't I put in my plan so I don't feel like I'm robbing myself? I don't feel
Right.
like I don't feel like I'm cheating, or oh man, I'm off my plan. I took a 30-minute nap. I took a little power
Right.
nap or something like
Right.
that. But
Right.
working in the plan, and even with weight loss, saying, hey, okay, I'm trying to hit these milestones, but I'm going to have, Friday, or if it's a Thursday, I'm going to do 6 hours. I'm going to eat something a little bit outside of my diet, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's just, I'm gonna have this meal at the end of the week. Saturday, I'm gonna have one meal that's my okay. That's, I eat the
Mm-hmm.
French toast for breakfast, and I'm gonna do the
Mm-hmm.
whole big breakfast thing or something like that.
Right.
That way you're not just stripping everything away and causing, unless you're
You're making it realistic,
right.
right?
Right.
Your attempts are to make it to where it's doable,
Right.
to where you can actually follow the plan.
Right.
You don't want to create a plan and it's impossible to do.
Right.
You can't do it. Um, and then you'll never reach your goal. So you want to make sure you make a plan, like you're saying, that you can actually follow and that you can actually do. That's the same thing with money management. I know, a lot of times people are putting together a budget or they're putting together a management plan for their finances and they don't put in there, going to the movies.
Right.
That's an expense, man. You're
That's
gonna
an
spend
experience.
money
Right.
doing that. Going out to eat.
Hmm.
These things are necessary, And then sometimes they'll try to put a out. In my opinion, that's what the out is, and they'll put a expense category called miscellaneous,
Hmm.
and they just throw a dollar amount on there. Well, no,
Right.
we can't do that.
Right.
You need to assign a task for every dollar that you have, right?
Hmm.
You know, every dollar that comes into your house, you have to give it an assignment and let it know exactly what it's going to be spent on, you
Right.
know, and then follow that plan. You
Right.
know, if you put something in there called miscellaneous, then basically what you're saying is that I don't know what these dollars are going to be spent on. Therefore, they can be spent on anything.
Right.
And then you have basically designated a chunk of funding to be lost.
That's tough.
Really, that's
Yeah.
that's what you're doing with the miscellaneous column or the miscellaneous, expense category. You are designating money to be lost. You know,
And not
and
tracking it and
and
doing
not
so.
tracking it and doing anything or putting it into your plan or anything
Uh-huh.
of that nature, you're really setting yourself up to lose money. To literally
Yeah.
lose money. You're planning to lose money when you use that category. And that's the same thing with anything else. I understand what a cheat day is, but
Hmm.
for me, for others, it may work, it may be helpful or whatever, but for
Right.
me, I, there are no cheat days for me.
Right.
There are none because that's an out for me, and
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
really I don't really need an out right now. I need results. You know what I'm saying?
And that's I think
Now,
it's important. Go
now,
ahead.
granted, I understand why people use cheat days and why they put them in there because it has to be something that's going to make your plan doable,
Correct.
manageable. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
For some people, that's necessary to
Hmm.
keep them on the game plan, right? But, for me, anyways, it's like I don't really need to build in and out because for me, because
Hmm.
of my issue is not the plan. My issue is the discipline,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
My issue is sticking to the plan and making sure I follow the plan.
Hmm.
So I don't need to plan something that's going to cause me to come off of the plan. You see
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
understand. I
I,
understand.
I can't do that because that's not my problem is not the plan.
Right.
My problem is sticking to it, right? It's my discipline. I have to work on my discipline. And so it's like, well, how do you work on discipline? You know what I'm saying? How do you build more discipline? You know? And I think that's where it becomes more of a spiritual thing, really.
Hmm.
I believe it becomes more of a spiritual thing, because there's not a there's not a natural thing that you can do that's going to build your discipline,
Right.
build your stick to itiveness. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you can do naturally that's going to click in your mind and get you to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna stick with it.
Right.
Nah, that's a character thing. That's a spiritual thing. That's not anything that comes from the outside and comes in. That's something that's built from the inside out.
Right.
And anything that's built from the inside out has to come from the spirit of a man. And so it's like I said, how do you create, how do you build more discipline? I have to go to the Father for that.
Right. Right.
I have to go to the Father for that.
Right.
People will talk about, man, you have patience and everything like that. I don't see it, but I know that I prayed for it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
I prayed for patience. I mean, and as a Christian, that's a character trait that all Christians mostly want. Is patience. So we
Yes.
so we will traditionally pray for patience. That's just one of the things that we usually just pray for is patience.
Hmm.
But I've never in my life prayed for discipline. I haven't. I never
That's
did.
tough. That's a tough one.
I never really thought about a day where I would I'm going to need discipline. So
Mhm.
so I've been praying for discipline. No,
Mhm.
that never happened for me.
Mhm.
But now I'm at a point in my life where it's like, Lord, I need some discipline. I need you to help me with my discipline and build that sense of urgency, build that sense of stick to itiveness in me to where I follow the game plan, not only on this weight loss journey, but also in the spiritual walk, right?
Right. Right.
To where I follow the getting up and the praying as I should,
Right.
because these things are essential to your spiritual walk, the
Right.
prayer, the fasting, the studying.
Mhm.
These are the things that Christ taught us will help us in the time of need. So why will we not, you know, do these things all the time? Well, doubt falls in, right?
Right.
I don't really need, I don't need, things are good. Things are going well, man.
Yes.
God has blessed me,
Yeah.
man. I, I don't need to pray right now. You know, I don't need that right now. I don't need to fast. Ain't no
Right.
reason for me to fast right now, man. Things are good. The calf is fat, man.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's time to party. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need any of those things. But Christ didn't say that. He said these are the things that we need to do consistently. He said you should pray always.
Mhm.
You know, and fast often.
Mhm.
These are the things that Christ said we are to do in order to get to where He is.
Right.
And if we are to be Christ like, then we have to find ourselves doing the things that Christ would do
Right.
or how Christ would do it. And you might think, well, how you gonna know that? Well, study His Word. See,
Study the word.
that's another key element of it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, prayer, fast, studying. You know, you'll never know who Jesus is if you don't read about Him.
If you don't take the time to
If you don't
go
take the
through, if you
time,
don't take the
yeah,
time to go through to go through, and it is, as you're saying, it is. I think the vulnerability of going to the Father and saying, God, I need discipline. Like we often go and say, I need help.
right,
What is help? Like, say,
yeah,
God, I need help. Help me to do this. Help me to do that. Oh, wait, God, I need some discipline
yeah,
because you know what I'm saying? The things that I want to do, I don't do, but the things that I don't want to do, that's what I do. So what do I
right,
find? You know what I'm saying? Like Paul said, is this is the sin in me? Well,
right,
it's not just sin. It is sin. It's not just sin though. It is the nature of flesh
right,
to not want to do things that are difficult. It is the
right.
nature of what we have on us, who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the character of a man is the
Mm-hmm.
spirit of a man. The character you're talking about, the characteristics of things. That's the internal. That's the soul. That's the
Right,
individual that's driving this body.
right,
But this body itself, it doesn't want to do anything that's hard. It doesn't want to wake up and go to work. I don't care what kind of career you got and all that stuff. There are days I don't feel like it. I
you don't
don't
feel
feel
like it.
like it. And so to actually be vulnerable and recognize when you're talking to God, hey, God, I really need, I really want, can you help me with this? Can you help me to do this? To learn to make an assessment of your asking and saying, okay, God, I'm asking you for help to do this thing, for help to do that thing, for help to do this thing. Wait a minute. I need some discipline, God.
Mm-hmm.
I want to study your word.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get into a chapter and a half, once I get in the first chapter of John and it said the word was God and God was the word, and by that time I'm starting to snooze off. God, I need some
Right,
discipline. I need some
right,
discipline. When it gets
right.
to fasting, I want to fast for 3 days. I'm going on a 3-day fast. Man, hour six, I'm looking at the clock like I ain't gonna make it. This ain't gonna happen, man.
Right.
This is not gonna
And then
happen.
the boss brought in on chocolate covered donuts that day,
Man, the
man.
only time he did the boss don't bring that.
You'll never
He
bring
don't
nothing.
bring that.
You'll never
So
bring it. But
this
when I
is
go on a fast, all
this
of a
is
sudden,
the today.
there today.
Today.
Today is the
And
day.
how am I gonna look if I don't if I
If I
don't take
if I
if I
don't
don't
take
take it? I
none.
look like me and he don't really have a good relationship right now. So I I need to be here. This is a peace
Hey,
offering.
that flash will come up with
Man,
some
you
man,
got a
it will
reason.
come up with
You
some
got a reason.
reasoning,
You
man,
got a
and it's
reason.
gonna come
You
out
got a
with some
reason.
excuses
Right.
to
Right.
do what it wants to do.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And I like how you said how, you know, a lot of times we pray for help, but we're not always as detailed in our prayer, you know, because
Hmm.
sometimes that that involves, you know, us being more open and more intimate
Right.
with God, right?
Right.
And sometimes, you know, some people may say, "Well, I don't know what I need," you know. Well, yeah, go ahead, pray for help. You know, God, I need your help. I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
why I'm doing what
Hmm.
I'm doing.
Hmm.
I just need your help. God will reveal to
Yes.
you
Yes.
what it is that you actually need
Yes.
to
Yes.
stop doing or to do what you are trying to do or
Yes.
not do. He will reveal that to you.
Hmm.
Now, okay, now that it's revealed to you, Eric, you need some more discipline, bruh. You need some more discipline. Okay, God, well, I need more discipline. Now, am I going to be humble enough to break down and go before the Father and say, God, I need more discipline, Lord.
Come on.
You know, I need you to teach me or to show me how I go about getting more discipline. I need you to change me from the inside out and instill in me a level of discipline to where I go about doing what I need to do
Right.
in order to accomplish what you have put me on this earth to accomplish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, are you going to be willing to go before the Father in humility and and ask for that detailed thing once He reveals it to you? Because He will.
Hmm.
If you're just asking for help, okay, great. He's going to show you one day in some moment of time. He'll show you exactly what you need to do.
Hmm.
Are you going to take that, accept it, and go forward and come back to Him and say, okay, God, I see what you told me. Okay, well, how do I go about getting that? Or how do I do this? Or how do I do that? You know, to where you get into those intimate moments. See, that's what God wants,
Hmm.
man.
Hmm.
God wants our hearts, bruh. You know, and He'll do whatever it takes to get it.
He's gonna get your attention.
He's going to get your attention, man.
He's gonna get your attention. I wanna. I wanna. I wanna put a pin in this right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that. I think that. It's just really good conversation, transparency about um, resolutions,
Mm-hmm.
about the discipline of the need for planning, and coming to this point where it is about going before God, health, wealth, and holiness. As a Christian, are we going to God and are we just asking for help? Are we taking those quiet moments right now, and are we starting to say, Father, not only do I need help, but show me what it is that I need help with. Show me what to pray for. Being vulnerable and saying, I'm coming before you, and having the trust, putting doubt out of the mind and understanding what truth is. He is your father. He's if we call our earthly fathers good, how much more so is our heavenly father who
That's
wants
right.
to do for us?
That's
And
right.
so going into this new year, we challenge you to take time to make the plans, to talk with God. Your heart is going to devise a way, and God is going to order your steps. If we
That's right.
take the time to start to talk with God and say, God, these are the things that I would like to accomplish. Can you help me plan these things out? Can you
That's
show
right.
me what it is in me that I need to work on or I need to ask of you? I don't know me as well as you know me.
That's
And
right.
I need you to show me what it is that you see, that you see in me that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be worked out, that I need to work in. And as we move forward, moving into 2026, to not have the fear, uh, to not have fear overpower us, to not have doubt take take away our motivation, take away our hope,
Right.
to take away
Right.
our love, to take away our decidedness, to not allow our flesh, to not allow our comfort levels, to not allow discomfort to to sub to to subvert the decisions and goals and the position and the resolutions.
Hmm.
You have been resolved in doing something, and you want to move forward to better your life. And
Right.
so, as we move into the new year, we are going to be posting more, but we ask you as an audience to participate. We ask
Right.
you to share with us some of the resolutions that you're going to have this year. Share with us some of the things that you have done in the past that have made you successful at this.
Right.
And we ask you just to join us as we continue to talk about these things, and leave in the comment section what is your resolutions for 2026, and how do you plan on going about it mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially,
Hmm.
and definitely physically.
Yeah.
Um, we thank you for joining. Thank you for being with us on this journey, and continue to just watch our channel. And we hope that God blesses you.
Amen. God bless.